For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Giuseppe. I am the corporate manager. Um, can everyone hear me before I continue on?
Yes, sir. Let's go.
Okay, cool. So I would like to start the day showing you guys a phone call, and then get some opinions, and let me know what you guys think about this phone call.
Let's do it.
Okay. Let me know if you can hear this. Good morning. This is Michael from Techy Wellington. Can you
Yep.
hear that? Okay, cool. Returning a missed call. We were closed for the holiday yesterday.
Oh, okay. Is this the iPhone repair?
Yes,
store?
it is.
Okay, sorry. I've had a lot of tech issues lately, so I was like, which one is that? No worries. I shattered the back of my phone screen, or not my screen, but the back of my phone.
Right.
And I was just wondering if you guys were able to fix that.
Yeah, which phone is it?
The 13 Pro.
Yeah, we can do that for you. It is a little pricier just because it's like a 4-hour repair because we have to use the laser machine to remove the adhesive.
Oh goodness.
It's
okay.
it's $169.99.
Okay, gotcha. And it's 4 hours.
Yep, and we do have the parts in stock.
Okay. Just wondering, just like out of my own curiosity, because I called another place and they said it was only an hour. Is there a difference in like what they are going to put on the phone that like makes it better, or
It's probably a rushed repair, so the quality probably wouldn't be the best.
Okay. Okay, gotcha.
It's usually about 2 hours. We like to quote the 4 just in case because we like to make sure the adhesive set to the back doesn't fall off. We like to make sure it's flush and lined up right. That way you don't have any issues if you go to trade it in.
Okay, and then another thing, not just the back is shattered.
Okay, so it's a little long, so I'm gonna stop it there. But what do you guys think about that phone call?
You should have stopped it 45 seconds ago. I mean, dear God. I mean, I don't even know if I want to get started on this right now. Bob, what do you got for me? How would you have handled it?
Too many details, man. You just should have said absolutely we can fix it and ended it right there, right? And just gotten her to come in, right? He went into too many details on the phone, and then she started going, well, I called this other place, and I'm like, good golly, yeah, he messed up, yeah.
I mean, this should have been a layup, guys. This phone call was designed for the tiered system from the start, right? I mean, first of all, this customer calling in and basically saying, I have a lot of tech issues. We didn't even address that. We just blew right past that comment. I mean, you could have simply said, you called the right place. We handle all things technology. What are your issues? When can you come in and let me take care of you today? Like, holy crap. Like, how did we miss that very first statement right out the gate? And then again, like you said, he's giving away information. First of all, using negative words, that's expensive because it's new. What? Like, oh my gosh, like this went against everything that we've been preaching the past 6 months, 7 months. And I can tell you right now, and I will tell you, this is a corporate employee, right? So you guys can see here how no matter how diligent you are, how much you train individuals, how much you constantly reinforce and you educate them on this is the way to do it, they still fall into old habits. That's why it's so critical. That's why we keep talking about this. That's why we talk about role playing. And guys, this should have been a slam dunk. This should have been an absolute easy layup tiered conversation. Absolutely, we can help you. When can you come in today? You called the right place. We can handle all of your technology needs and been done with it. I don't even know if this customer came in and did business with us. They already informed her that, oh yeah, another company told me an hour. You told me 4 hours. First of all, I'm not a repair guy. But how many of us takes 4 hours to do a back glass, especially with a laser machine? Any of us quote 4 hours for a back glass repair with a laser machine? I I haven't heard that before.
Probably if you started it, if this is your first one.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, whoa, dude, like this is just out of
Well,
control.
one thing I want to add, like just on the like yes, there's a lot of things that he could have done a lot better, right? And we're gonna work on that as we continue to try to do. One thing I want to commend him on, a good side of it, is that he did follow up with the customer. You know what I mean? So you want to convert a lot more customers, you got to start your follow up game needs to be strong. So I want to commend him on that. Hey, we were closed yesterday. I'm just calling you back, letting you know, hey, what could we do for you? That right there is a huge accomplishment in my eyes, um, compared to what we've done in the past. We don't. When was the last time you looked at your missed calls from the day before, or when was the last time you followed up with a client or a customer, um, that said, "Hey, um, I'll be in there in a week, or I'll be there tomorrow at this time." So that's what I want to really commend him on that, right? The first part of success is showing up, and he did that. And so yes, he made a lot of mistakes afterwards, but I want to just commend him on the follow up, which we've been preaching here at headquarters too a lot, and on the corporate side too as well. The 30, 60, 90, right? Follow ups process, but even this. So I just want to commend him on that. That was kind of what I took in. But yeah, Kyle, I get where you're coming from 100%. Like, it's exhausting, but it's something that we need to do on a daily basis. And like you said, we have to role play as much as we possibly can, because we get stuck in our old habits. It's expensive, that kind of stuff.
No, absolutely. And I get it. You could tell he did have energy on the phone. He was trying to be 100% transparent to the customer and give them as much information as he thinks they wanted. But again, our number one goal is to drive that traffic into the store, and we know some of these things prevent that from happening, right? And that's the bigger issue. That's the bigger picture, right? We always talk about giving 100% solutions, right, to getting that phone back in peak performance. The customer said she shattered the back glass. That's great, but what if there's some internal components that need to be replaced? What about bundling repairs? You're taking that away from yourself by just going out and giving price, giving time frames, telling them the parts in stock or not. I mean, guys, these are things that we know will drastically affect the probability of these people coming into the store. So let's, like I said, we got to role play this stuff. We got to listen to our calls. Hopefully you have the PBX system now, because this stuff is happening across the board. There's nobody that preaches this more than we do, and this is a corporate employee, guys. So it's happening. I promise you, it's happening. Continue to work with your staff. Continue to role play and continue to work on your conversions. And Tim, yes, I do agree with you. The simple fact that he was able to call this customer back, he engaged with this customer after the holiday. That's fantastic. That's a win. But we could have handled it much better. So thank you, Giuseppe, for finding that call and sharing that, because it definitely hit a lot of the points that we've been discussing for a couple of months now.
Definitely, yeah. So, not only the extra details, but also the negative words. There were a few negative words in there, even if they're not directed at us. Saying something negative about another business. I don't. The customer really doesn't care about all that stuff. So you want to stay away from that and always use positive words and just a simple, just come on in. She sounded like she was already gonna do it. So just come on in. We got you. We'll take care of you. We can do that, and that's it. Just and I'm sure you would have won that call
Yeah,
easily.
I mean, that
Uh,
customer was price shopping, right? You can tell. I've already called somewhere else. She's trying to get some quotes. She's trying to figure out what's the best place, because she's got a lot of problems and a lot of issues. We could have tripled our sales with that call if we would have handled it appropriately, because I'm sure maybe she had a tablet issue or she had some sort of computer issue that she could have came in. We could have bundled those repairs together. I mean, tons of different ways and opportunities that we could have driven that traffic in and reassured her that she did not need to contact anybody else, and built value into the parts that we use and the warranties that we have. And there's no wait times, and you can book an appointment right now, and all these different things that would have shown, hey, this is the last call you need to make. And that's the mindset we need to have, that you called the right place. And yeah, certainly we'll be addressing this with our team members and using this as an example. Bob, I saw you on mute, bud. What's going
Yeah,
on, bud?
yeah, no, that was the first thing that I heard on the call was like, hey, are you the iPhone place? I mean, you could have grabbed control of the conversation right then and says, yeah, we're not only the iPhone, but we're the fix it, we fix all your electronics, right? Because then she said all that, I have all these electronics, and then you could have like gained, because she's a different type of price shopper because she was just calling around because she didn't know, because you could tell she didn't really know, right? Because she was asking the questions about an hour, and so for on that call, all you if you I mean obviously get her in the store, but just a little bit of trust, and you could have got that customer for life, right? Um, that's the kind of call that I saw there. It wasn't your typical call because usually it's like, hey, I just call and get a back glass repair. How much is it? And they're just consistently, yeah, I just need to know what the price is. But she was one to talk a little more, which kind of led me to believe that she didn't really know what she was looking for, and she was just trying to get a little educated. And so you guys say, hey, come on in, we'll show you what, we'll look at this, we'll absolutely take care of you. My name's Bob. Where we're located, just gone through the tier system and then gotten her in. And once you got her in, man, you could have locked her in for a customer for life.
Definitely, I agree. Hmm. So, does anybody else have maybe a scenario that you want to talk about? Maybe a customer you had, a situation you had to deal with. No. Okay. Uh, what about were some stores open on the 4th of July?
Yeah, we had a few open. I know Bob was open and did a couple of iPad repairs and things of that nature.
Yeah, I did three glass repairs, had glass all over me, man.
Okay, that's nice to hear that you got some business in. Definitely. Okay, cool. Um,
Yeah, and I sold an all-in-one too. So I did what, $1,500, something like that.
oh, that's awesome.
Let's go.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, cool, cool. So I don't have any other phone calls. Do you happen to have another phone call, Cal?
Yeah, let's play that one I did with you yesterday. What was that one? It was from Wellington. It was 16837, I think it was. Let me look it up. You have Repair Desk open right now? Giuseppe?
Oh, I'm sorry, I was muted. Yeah,
Hey,
I do. Let me.
yeah, go to Wellington and go to 16837.
16,
So while you look that up, hey Kyle, and Giuseppe, what would be kind of cool is to run through a buyback scenario.
okay.
Okay. So what are you thinking?
Well, I mean, I've gotten a couple come in, right, where you're like offering the price. Looks like, because we talk about, hey, look, we absolutely, let's fix it. When you're talking, when the customer comes in, but I think we haven't role played buybacks, on this call a lot. Um, and
So
so, I've done
yeah,
a couple.
are you talking about offering the customer a trade in when they come in on a repair, or actually just they're coming in with a device that needs to be repaired and you physically want to buy that device back?
No, they're coming in with a device they want to sell.
Okay, so this is actually a device customer that you want to sell, not somebody that's like, hey, I came in for a repair. Oh, by the way, we can buy this device from you. Okay.
Yeah, because I'm noticing. I don't know. I know personally. I'm not. The economy's starting to kick people's butts, right? And I'm starting to see. Like I had this one guy come in, and he's only got like 4 or 5 months to live, and so he's selling all. And he has all kinds of crap, and I'm buying it from him left and right. Um, and so and we've been negotiating. So that wasn't too bad. But there's customers who come in and they just want, I don't know, hypothetically, you offer them $600, they want $1,000. And obviously, if you buy it at 1,000, the margin's not right. So would love to role play, you know, getting that
Yeah,
customer
1,000%.
to.
Giuseppe, you wanna take lead on this one, and we'll go from there.
Sure, definitely. Yeah.
All right. So I guess Bob, you'll be the customer, and Giuseppe, you be the team member.
Yes, sir.
Also, would this be a walk-in or already, or is this a phone
No,
call?
no, no, this will be a walk-in. Somebody walk. I mean, I don't know. You tell. I mean, either scenario. But usually, if somebody calls in, I'm following the tier system. I said, look, I said, absolutely, we'll buy it, bring it in. I'll make you an offer. I says, my name's Bob. We're located. I mean, because why would you make an offer on the phone on something you haven't seen, right? Now, I've had customers, and that's another scenario that said, hey, before I drive, 30 minutes to come up to your store, can you at least give me a ballpark, right? I mean, I've had that question thrown back at me several times, right? Um, but so we can
Yeah,
work.
well, Bob, that's where you got to leverage the website, my man. That's where you got to tell them to visit techycompany.com and go through that sell feature, and they can get a couple of different prices based on the quality of the device. I mean, I use that all the time. Please feel free to visit our website, techycompany.com. Please go to the sell feature and follow the cues, and you will get a price based on the quality of, the condition of the device, and you'll kind of get an idea of what we're paying for those devices.
Yeah, we should probably add that to the to our script so I can give it to my team.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I agree with Kyle. Definitely using the site, but I think we should walk it through the process, and I think it's okay to ask the customer and walk them through the steps, because a lot of times when you push it off on them, they're not going to do it. It's just you know. So when they call in and they want like a range, absolutely love to give you a range. Can you give me your first name? John. Okay, perfect. Can you give me your email? Boom. Can you give me your phone number? Boom. Okay, awesome. I'm gonna email you over an estimated price,
Oh, I
and
like that.
take a look at it. And when you get it, you mind if I call you back and we talk a little bit more about it? And that's the way
Oh
I would
yeah,
handle it.
I like that. That's what I like that.
Because not only do you have their information now, you can email market them. Now you have their phone number. Now, even if they don't sell it to you, you still have an opportunity to market them these services we offer. So, but yeah, we can definitely script that if you like.
Yeah, no, that would be good because it's all. I mean, I know how I would handle it, but it's all about going back to duplication. I got, you know, everybody's trying to learn stuff, and if the script's right there on the wall for them, I'm like, I want to, hey, use the script, walk through it, right?
Yeah, yeah. Don't fall off the tier system. And if they start asking more questions, then you go down these other processes like we talk about here. So yeah, love it.
Um, so you want to do a walk in on a buyback real quick?
Yes, sir. Go. So you're gonna be the customer, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's get it.
Um, hey Giuseppe, hey, I got this iPad Pro I want to sell.
Hi. Yes, sir. Welcome to Techie. Hi. Yeah, we can definitely take a look at that. Do you have the devices with you?
Yeah, here it is, right here. It's right in front of you, right
Oh,
here. Here you go.
okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, okay. So of course, the price is gonna be based on the condition of the device. I do have to look at some things, for example, and of course, at this point, you would check the IMEI, make sure that if it's an iPhone, it doesn't have an iCloud account. If it's a Samsung, it doesn't have a Google account. And if everything is good, let's say in this situation it's good. Okay, cool. So we can offer you this much. We have the option if you want to trade up, you can trade up. Um, so you just let me know what you want to do, and I'll take care of you.
All right. Well, I just want what's the price? It's a 6th gen iPad 12.9, 128 gigs,
Okay, definitely.
Wi-Fi only. So there you go. Let me know how much you're gonna make me an offer.
Okay, definitely. So then at this point, you would look at. Usually, what I do is I look at the website um, for reference as a good starting point. I know, of course, a big part of that is getting to know your customer because with some people you have more leeway than others. So talk to them a little bit. You get to know them while you're checking their stuff, and start off with the website. So I don't have it pulled up, but
Yeah. Well, go ahead and pull it up because this is the important part right here.
I
yeah.
think as Giuseppe, you get into this, and I think it's something that we need to kind of go through too as well. I think, guys, when you're doing these things, keep them simple. Like keep it real simple. Like Giuseppe, you're gonna probably close the deal because you've been doing this for a long time. But a lot of the new people aren't gonna close the deal because it's just too much information. You got to keep it really simple, guys. Customer comes walking in, absolutely, we purchased this. Let me take a look at it for you, and then give you an honest quote, right? And then I would ask them after that, have you got what are you looking for? How much are you looking to sell this for?
Now
And
that's my
find out
so
where
when
they're at, and then
so
go from there.
so Tim, when are you asking that? Are you asking that
Right
when
away.
you?
Like, let's get to the
Okay,
point. Like, let's stop beating around the bush,
that's
right?
yeah.
Like, let's just get right to the point. Like, absolutely, we buy this. You know, we do this all the time. What are you looking for?
Yep,
Oh, I'm
that's
looking
what
to
I
get
do.
$500. Beautiful, beautiful, absolutely. I'm gonna go onto my site right here, pull it, and I'm gonna give you your offer right here on the spot with an honest quote. How does that sound? You know,
All right, so that device, if you go to the site, I think when you in excellent condition is 673. All right.
perfect.
Now, the guys. But you didn't know that at this moment, okay? So what you do know is, so I asked the guy, I said, so what are you looking for? He says, I want $1,000. And
Absolutely, and he replies, absolutely. I think you deserve as much as we can possibly give to you. Do you mind if I take it in and phone a friend, right?
yep. Okay. So now let's finish walking through the scenario. All right. So we go in the back, you do your research, you come up, you see the website says 673. You know the guy wants $1,000. All right. How do you finish that conversation?
Yeah, I would blatantly ask him, hey, well, so you're looking for $1,000? Have you got any other quotes out there? Have you got where are you getting this $1,000 from? You know, and just be very transparent with them about the process, and then let them reply, oh, I need 1,000 because I need to trade in my phone to get this phone, or blah 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 blah. You know, and this is a little bit more detailed information, but I think you need to be very very transparent through the processes steps of why you want 1,000. Like where are you at with 1,000? And so this takes a little bit more skill and a little bit more role play. But at the end of the day, I think if you follow these processes, these tiers, these simple little questions, I think you're going to convert a lot more. And I'm sure, you know, David and Tristan, you guys both came up, and even Darren, you guys see this all day long and have great replies for these things. But I don't know where did you go with it from there, Bob? I mean, where were you at that moment?
So,
You know, one
so
thing you don't want to say is like, "Oh no, man, you're out of your mind." Like I've heard that before. Like, what are you doing right now? Like,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
you're
Now
out of your mind. Get out of the store. You're not a salesman right now. Like,
that's so in my head, I was like, well, as soon as you said 1,000, in my head, I was like, yeah, that ain't happening. In my head, that's what I'm saying. But
but you
I
know what? A
said, all
lot of
right,
people say that, and that's the wrong approach, because now all you're doing is you're insulting the individual as you're not worthy of this. You're not worth $1,000. You know what I mean? Like, how
yeah,
dare you walk up in here thinking you're gonna get this and that? That is the wrong direction.
yeah, yeah.
You
So
need
in
to
my
go,
head,
absolutely, I want to give you as much money as possible.
yeah.
Let's work this out. All right.
So like I said, in my head, because I already know when you deal with these, like you're like, yeah, that ain't $1,000. So, but the problem with me is, my head and my face say what I'm thinking. So you like, I've got to learn, because my face basically says this, what my head's thinking, right? Because and I can't play Texas Hold'em because I lose every time. But yeah, my first thought was, yeah, that ain't happening. But the words that came out of my mouth was, all right, well, let me look at it real quick, right? Let me check it out, and we'll see what we come up. So I looked it up, 673. I came back out up front, and I was like, yeah, based on what I'm seeing, I can offer you 675. And the guy looked at me. He's like, really, 675? I said, well, I tell you what. He's like, can you do better? And I said, well, what are you thinking? He's like, how about 700? And I was like, done. I said, I'll do 700. So I closed it at 700. And then he's like, well, how'd you come up with that? So I walked over to one of my Macs, and I went to the Techie company site right there. And I went to the thing. I said, there's the price. You actually got a better, I gave you a little bit more than what you should be getting. And he's like, man, I appreciate that. He said, you made it so simple. But that could have gone in a different direction, right? And so I think I want to role play it, because I want my team to be able, because I can't be there, you know, every minute, every hour, and I need to get my team where they can do this like I can, right?
So, Bob, one suggestion that we do in my store is we pull up the trade-in portion of our website, but then we also pull up Gazelle and we pull up Sell My Mac, and so you have two reference areas besides your quote, so that when they come back and they say I expect $1,000, you say, okay, let me take a look at. I want to make sure my offer is competitive. So I pull up all three. I have the customer come around and I say, okay, so our quote was 675. You can see here, Sell My Mac's going to offer you 650, and Gazelle's going to offer you $400. So I feel pretty confident we're giving you the most money, and that gives you trust and it gives you standing to say, I understand you want the most for your device. Let's make sure that my quote is competitive, because then you have something to fall back on and a reference point, and then they can see, oh, you are offering the most money out there. Now that can backfire. Like yesterday, I just did a trade and I offered 350 for a MacBook Pro M1. Gazelle had 222, so I was way more than that. Sell My Mac had actually much more than that. It was like 480. So I said, you know what? I can get close to that 480. I can do 400. But then Mac Me an Offer, which is Mac of all trades, basically, they had a quote of 670. And I said, I'm sorry, I can't meet that offer because that's not in line with everybody else. And we talked about the two different websites. And in this particular situation, that can backfire, but that's more than I would pay a vendor. So unfortunately, I didn't win that offer. But
I would
I
have
know
called that
that comes.
vendor, and I would have called that vendor on the spot and made sure, because remember, these prices are getting updated on the site regularly, and
Yep,
even on our site sometimes there's errors, because like the other day, iWatch wasn't on. I mean, Apple Watch. Sorry, David. Uh, it wasn't on the site, so I would have just called them immediately and made sure that that was the accurate price, and
that's a good point.
that's the route
I
I would have went.
I know this company very well because Mac of all trades actually is in our backyard, so they're going to have a lot of issues, and they're going to come back to us. And I said, if you ever have any issues, just let us know, because the quote I gave you is what we're going to definitely give you. Now, I will say, in 7 years of being open, nearly 7 years, it's never backfired. This is the first time where there's a quote that's like much more than ours. So typically, whenever you pull up these 2 3 sites, you're going to be more or in line with the offer, and what it does is it backs you with your offer, so that if somebody wants $1,000 and you're offering 500, they understand that they're kind of set the arrow straight, say, okay, well, this is too much from what I'm asking, and it works almost all the time.
So here's the thing. So this is eerily similar to what I do in my enterprise sales, because there's the customers who are shopping around and want the best deal, but then there's the customers who are like, oh, I'm going to do it myself, right? Because you're also fighting with what the market is, and they're like, yeah, well, I'm going to just sell it myself, and I'm like, all right, well, I mean, I want that machine, right? And so, how do you role play that?
Yeah, if they want to sell it themselves, I would say something like say they're just too pricey. Be like, hey, absolutely, go out there and sell it yourself. Do me a favor, and I'll help you through this process, because there's a lot of weary locations you can meet up with people. This is an expensive device. Come to my facility, my place, and I will vet the two of you guys and make sure everything's going good. Everything's going good. At least at both parties feel safe. And that's the way I would process it. Now it gets two people into your stores, and you just go through the process. Yeah, this is good. It's not blacklisted, blah, 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 and just kind of help them through the process. Obviously, there's little situations, but it's a safer place for them to meet. And then you hope to upsell the new individual. And that's the way I would handle it.
That's a good idea. I like that. One of the things that we do is we make sure that I forgot the question. Sorry, guys.
No, it's all good, Darren. Um,
I lost
but
my
yeah, this
train
is a
of
great
thought.
conversation. Yeah, and it's all good. It's a great conversation, guys, and these are the same things that we have eh, coming into our stores every single day. And so these are great subjects. And remember, these calls are recorded for these reasons, and it takes time to do this stuff and like build up these processes. But you always have to try to remember in your mind, like, I need to practice, because that's one thing. You always have to practice to get better and improve. But the next thing is you just keep it simple. Like, don't insult the individual for, you know, keep those positive. The Techie Five, speak positive. Words are powerful. These are the things that are super, super important to do when you're trying to capitalize on some of these clients and these customers. Um, because all the time I'm listening to these calls, or I'm seeing these things face to face, and you start going down the negative route, and it just never turns into a sale. So you always have to make sure that you're paying attention to the words that you're using, and try to keep it as simple as you can. So
Hey, so Tim, let me. So I'll finish this, and then we can drop. But so the guy, so he agreed to 700 on the iPad, and then he broke out a Flip 4. Now
nice.
I never had a Flip 4 in the store, so I said, all
Oh,
right. So I went in the back, checked it out, put it on phone check, yada yada. I offered him 275, and he comes, and that's what the site said, and he's like,
uh-huh.
you're stuck on these 75. So that's like, I said, and I was joking because I'm really good with humor, and if humor breaks down all kinds of barriers, right? And I said, yeah, well, it sounds like a 70 ending in 75. Other than my age, it sounds like a good number. And
Yeah.
then, and I said, you probably want like a 4 or 5 in front of that. He says, he started laughing, and he's like, all right, well, can you do 300? I said, yeah, you got me in a gracious mood today. I said, I tell you what, 700, 300. You want to call it 1,000 for both devices? He's like, absolutely, let's do it. And then as we were walking out and closing the deal, he's like, man, you made that so simple. I says, man, I'm going to come in with more devices. I was like, bring it on. I says, we're here. So
Yeah. That's huge. I love that. And it's great content for sure to share with your team and for your team to see these kind of things and interact. So I love
is
that.
anybody,
Christian, I saw you
yeah,
came.
anybody,
Tristan, you came up. Did you have something?
Yeah, why don't we do one more role play before we go? Me and David will show you how it's done. How's that sound?
I promise I won't say Apple Watch. I mean, iWatch.
Please don't. Please don't. So a couple of notes really quick before me and David
Sure.
do this. So over the phone conversation, absolutely we don't mention price. And we actually play it as a safety thing. We've unfortunately gotten broken into a bunch of times. So when someone asks for a price over the phone, we just very transparently say, we don't give numbers out over the phone, and we do that for a number of safety reasons. I will say 9 times out of 10, that drops the conversation right then and there, and they come in the store. No questions asked. That works really well for us. It's probably going to be different for different markets, but that's what works for us. So over the phone, they say, hey, you know what? I need a price. Tell them just very transparently. We don't give numbers out on the phone, number of safety reasons. If they do end up going against it, my team knows they're not authorized to give even price ranges from the website, just because that creates way too many opportunities for something to go wrong. So they say, yeah, give me just 1 second. Let me get somebody who can get that information for you. They put them on hold. They listen to my annoying voice for 30 seconds, telling them about our financing programs on a hold program. And then I answer the phone, and then I'll give them a price range, and I tell them that it's not set in stone, and I'll usually keep it low too. If it's $1,000 trade in, I'll usually go $200 less than that over the phone. And again, they'll usually end up coming in the store. But yeah, you want to do this real quick, David? You want to come in the store?
Sure. But we're going to the store. Or we're on the phone.
Let's start with the phone. Phone's a good idea.
Okay. Go ahead.
Ring, ring. It's a great day at Experamax. This is Tristan. What information can I get for you?
Hey, listen, my wife just bought me one of these new M1 iMacs, and I've got a 2017 iMac I need to sell. I was looking to see if I can get a price on it before I bring it in.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. We definitely are interested in buying that. Can you bring it in today?
I could, but can you kind of give me a kind of a price range on what these go for? I've been doing a little bit of research, but I'm wondering what
Okay.
you guys offer on them.
Yeah, so I don't give numbers out over the phone. I do that for a number of safety reasons, but I'm definitely interested in it. So if you wanted to bring it in.
I think we lost you, Tristan.
Oh,
Or I lost you.
let me try that again.
Yeah, he dropped out for a second. You said number of safety
Okay, I'm back.
reasons and then dropped off.
Yeah, for a number of safety reasons, we don't give quotes out over the phone, but I am interested in it. So if you wanted to bring it in today, just ask for Tristan and I'll give you a quote on the spot.
Okay, that sounds great. So how do you guys price it? What do you base your pricing on? If you could just kind of give me a little bit of background on
You know,
that,
it
that'd be
really just
great.
depends on the market, but if you bring it in, we have this really cool tool that gives us an estimate on what we can price it at. So if you want to bring it in, I'll show you that tool and we'll get you a quote. It takes literally less than 5 minutes. We'll get you taken care of. Do you know where we're located?
Yeah, I do. You're over there on the Katy Freeway between Bunker Hill and Gessner, right?
Yeah, right across the freeway from Memorial City Mall. What time do you think you could be here?
Oh, I'll be there in about an hour.
Okay, awesome. Like I said, just ask for Tristan when you get here and we'll get you taken care of, okay?
Thanks a lot.
Absolutely.
Love
All right,
it.
now David,
Tristan,
in the store.
great job on that whole process. I mean, like location. I love how like you kind of like when
Thank you.
he asked for the
Thank you.
price, you still said, when are you looking to come in? Like fantastic tier system process that you just did right there. And I see that you've been working hard role playing, and I commend you guys for doing that. And it makes me proud too as well. So awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
I would,
So in the store, just to kind of wrap this up because we're kind of running out of time. So
yeah.
let's say that David is off by literally $700. So first thing I ask David whenever he comes in with his 2017 iMac is I tell him, hey, how much are you looking to get for this thing? And let's say he comes up with some outrageous number like $2,000. When they sold brand new, they started at $2,000, and that was in 2017. So I explained to David, I'm like, hey, you know what? That's a great price to sell it to an individual. And I'm super optimistic about it because I don't want to shame his product. So I explained to him, these are awesome, probably my favorite tier of iMacs because they had 5K resolutions. But what's significant about them is when macOS Sonoma comes out this October, this iMac won't run that current operating system. That's not a bad thing. That just means that I have to price it accordingly. So if you were to sell it to an individual, you can absolutely get that price. My business model is I want to turn around and resell it. My goal is to sell it to that individual. My buy on something like this right now is probably around $650, and if you wanted to do that, I can cut you a check right now.
Yeah, fantastic, fantastic. I think I like the transparency that you're giving to them, and I think it's a lot of the times where we make mistakes. We start saying you're out of your mind. It's 2,000. No, but instead you go through the transparency that, hey, look, we purchased it back. We renew this device and we turn around and sell it to the community, and so we have to make a margin. And I think that's great content because a lot of these individuals are business savvy and understand business, and they can appreciate that, and they kind of put themselves in a customer's shoes, if you will. Uh, like if they are trying to sell a customer and go, oh wow, that makes more sense. Let me sell it to you. You know what I mean? And they appreciate that. So I think the transparency that you did is a home run for sure. And I think that's what you should be doing every single time with these kind of processes because it builds a good relationship. That honest quote and that very transparency up front is just a huge home run on any time you're making a sale. So I love that. It's a great job.
And I love that Darren brought up programs like Gazelle and stuff like that because we do get customers in all the time. They'll say, oh, well, you know what? I got a $1,500 offer on Facebook Marketplace. Me and David will never shame that offer. We will say, that is awesome that somebody's willing to give you that much for the product. But then, just like Tim said, just explain to him, just be careful for me, please. We don't offer up our store as a safe marketplace, but the city of Houston has local marketplaces that have constables there where they can do safe shopping. So we explain to them where those locations are. But we never down like Gazelle or Facebook Marketplace. We just ask them to be careful. And at the end of any of those conversations, we mention the convenience of selling through us instead. Instead of having to go through that hassle, and we use that word hassle a lot, you can just get a check from me right here, right now. And I'll say probably 7 times out of 10, they will either right then and there take a check from me, or within 30 minutes, they'll be back and take a check from me.
I love that. And I think that's the biggest point is you can get your money now, where a lot of these other services, you have to wait for them to vet the process if you have to ship it in and go through these steps. That is a huge selling point that you can bring up. And I think is like, hey, I'll give you the cash or the Zelle or the check today. And a lot of times, guys, we try to stay away from the cash kind of stuff again for safety reasons, like like Tristan talked about, because when you start saying these things, that can cause red flags. So I love the check response and or Zelle, then the money right on spot. So it's definitely something to think about for sure. And great conversations for today, guys. Giuseppe, great job. Fantastic opportunities, and we hope that you guys see value in this kind of stuff. And we know we ran a little longer today, but make sure you send this back to your team. These are recorded. I'll put it on our Facebook news and support page. You can go re-listen to it with your team inside the store on a Bluetooth speaker and talk more about it. But like if you're doing these things, and this is why Dave and Tristan, Darren, Bob are their sales are continuing to be one of the top stores in the platform, because not only are they involved through the processes, but you could, as you see, as they answer these calls and they do these role playings, they're knocking them out of the park. And this is why their conversion rates are 7 out of 10 compared to what a normal store is 2 out of 10. So something to think about, guys, as we continue to grow together. So